In sleep, we're aware of ourselves without being aware of any body or mind. So clearly what we now seem to be is not what we actually are. So our aim is to try, and another important thing is, all troubles that come to us come only to us as a person. In sleep, where we don't experience ourselves as a person, we have no problems. So the root of all problems arises for us when we mistake ourselves to be a person. I'm not sure how deep to go, but because this is just an introduction, but Bhagavan distinguished between what we actually are, and that's our real nature, and ego, which is what now experiences itself as a person. That is the pure awareness, I am, that is our real nature. But the nature of ego is to be always aware of itself as I am this body, I am this person. So this is not two different I's, it's one and the same I, but it's our real nature is what we actually are. Ego is what we mistake ourselves to be. So now we mistake ourselves to be this ego, but ego and our real nature are not two different things. They're one and the same thing. Like, for example, if we, in dim light, we see a rope and we mistake it to be a snake, the rope and the snake are not two different things. What is actually there is only a rope, but it seems to us to be a snake. So how to get rid of the mistaken, the illusion that it is a snake? The only way to do so is to look at it very carefully. If we look at the snake very carefully, we'll see, oh, there was no snake, it's only a rope. Likewise, this ego, the I that is aware of itself as I am this body, I am this person, is just an illusion. It's not what we actually are. So in order to get rid of this, we have to look at ourselves very carefully. If we look at ourselves very carefully, we'll see that what the ego that we now seem to be is not what we actually are. In fact, there is no ego. There is only what we actually are, which is just pure awareness. But it's not sufficient just to say, oh, there's no ego, because now we're experiencing ourselves as ego. It's ego that is now talking, listening, all our interactions. That which is aware of anything other than itself is ego. That the ego is subject, everything else, all the phenomena we are aware of are objects. So there's the basic duality of subject-object. But this duality arises only for ego, not for our real nature. So it's only in the view of ego that other things seem to exist. So because all problems arise with this ego, the goal that Bhagavan has taught us, has pointed out to us, is to be aware of ourselves as we actually are. When we're aware of ourselves as we actually are, we won't mistake ourselves to be a person, therefore we'll be free of all problems. To be aware of ourselves as we actually are, in order to see anything, in order to see any object, there must be a subject. So we are aware not only of objects, we're aware also of the subject. I am aware of this. This chair is an object. It's something I'm aware of. So who am I who am aware of this? So though our self is not an object, it is something that we're always aware of. Self-awareness is the one constant in our experience. All awareness of other things comes and goes. Self-awareness remains throughout. In waking we are self-aware. In dream we are self-aware. Even in sleep we are self-aware. The difference between the self-awareness in sleep and the self-awareness in waking and dream, in sleep there's just self-awareness. In waking and dream, awareness of other things has got mixed with it and it seems to be obscuring it. But there's never a moment when we're not aware of ourselves. So though we are not an object, we can attend to ourselves. But when we say attend to ourselves, it again sounds, this is the limitation of language. It sounds like we're attending to an object, but it's not. It's to express it in a different way, to try and get away from this idea of us, where we can attend only to objects. We're always aware of ourselves. But though we're always aware of ourselves, we are negligently self-aware because we're more interested in other things. So instead of attending to ourselves, we're attending to other things. Instead of being negligently self-aware, we need to be attentively self-aware. That is, not that we're attending to ourselves as an object, we are just withdrawing our attention from other things and just being with that self-awareness, centering on that self-awareness. This is as far as language goes. Language has its limitations.